joining us right now. Very excited to bring him on. Folks, I am actually speaking in Maryland to a Republican party organization. I'm speaking to my good friends in Queen Anne's County on October 1. You can go and check that out. But he is the national committeeman for the Republican Party for the great state of Maryland. His name is David Bossie. He's also the president of Citizens United. David, listen, Wes Moore not vacationing in Maryland this year, huh?
No, good morning to you. No, you got to find Wes Moore. Oh, he's over in Lake Como with George Clooney and the Hollywood crowd. So you won't find him anywhere trying to solve Marylanders' problems.
Yes, it is. You think, even if he wanted to vacation with Clooney, he couldn't convince Clooney to come on over and go to Oxford or St. Michael's or somewhere out there. Go down to Crisfield. Have some crab down in Crisfield. He couldn't do any of that. No, couldn't go down the ocean with him. He had to go to Lake Como. But I mean, there's something unseemly, right, about Wes Moore joining with Clooney over there.
Well, really, look, this is nothing new. We have seen these hardcore leftists who do everything for themselves. They're so selfish and so self-centered that they don't have any understanding or bearing of where they are. So you have, and we've seen this over the last 20 or 30 years, many, many times, but George Clooney, he goes and hangs out with George Clooney when he's picking a fight with Donald Trump. Governor Moore picks a fight. He decides, I'm going to put myself ahead of the citizens of Baltimore, ahead of the citizens of Maryland in this fight against crime, which, by the way, he's not even involved in. And he says, I'm going to go to Italy instead, and I'm going to pick this fight. I'm going to do this, take these radical positions, but yet I'm going to go on vacation. And we've seen it time and time again. And Marylanders are getting sick of it. I understand we have a voter registration problem here in Maryland. We don't have enough Republicans. Okay,
Yeah.
People keep voting for the same garbage, and guess what? Garbage in, garbage out, and that's what we're getting. We're getting garbage policy by garbage politicians, and that's what Maryland has decided upon. And we have to change that. And it's only by voting in some Republicans that this state is going to finally wake up and realize that they got a problem and they have to solve it.
Dave, you have a great piece over at the Washington Times talking about just this. He's about him being a professional leftist. You said instead of working with the president on issues of public safety and fighting crime in cities such as Baltimore, he goes off to Italy, and people are tired of this. But you do talk about the serious crime problem that has plagued Maryland cities. Why do you think the electorate seems to ignore this or seems to have a very high pain threshold for this kind of stuff, on top of the fact that Wes Moore then trots off to Italy for a luxury vacation? Why is this even tolerated in Maryland?
It's incredible, and it's such a great question. It's incredible that the people of Maryland, the people of Detroit, of Philadelphia, of Los Angeles, I mean, you could go, right? You go on and on, right? You name the big city controlled by these hardcore leftists, and there's nothing the people can do to solve these problems. And that's why you see Hispanics and African American and other folks who live in these neighborhoods stand up and say enough's enough. Look at Muriel Bowser. She is saying, hey, you know what? I don't agree with the president very often. Okay, I don't agree. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trump supporter. But you know what? I recognize, I see with my own eyes what the National Guard has done for the citizens of Washington, D.C. And not only the citizens, but the visitors. It is the nation's capital. And now all of a sudden we have safety and security on the streets. President Trump took a leadership position. It's not easy, but Donald Trump doesn't shy away from these problems. He takes them on head on. And that's the difference between leadership and what these leftists do. They talk, and all they want to do is have Trump derangement syndrome. They hate the president more than they love our country. That's the fundamental problem with this thing. Okay? they hate him more than they love our country.
Right.
And they're willing to allow bad things to happen in order to try to make him look bad. And guess what? The American people see it for what it is, and these people are going to pay for it at the ballot box. But more importantly, they pay for it with their citizens. You look around; these places are dangerous, and President Trump's trying to solve a crime problem that's been going on generationally.
Yeah, and by the way, we're talking with David Bossie, the national committeeman for the Republican Party in Maryland and president of Citizens United. It's not as though Westmore couldn't get great Italian food in Baltimore. I mean, it's maybe he doesn't want to go there. I don't know. But right. I mean, this is the situation. The president takes the steps yesterday to go and address a threat from a trendy Aragua narco terrorist boat. And, of course, you've got the usual suspects on the left attacking the president for doing this. They have never met a criminal, a foreign criminal that they weren't willing to support over the United States.
Over the United States. Yeah. Listen to what you just said.
Yeah.
That's what the American people have to understand. And I think they are. More and more Americans are waking up every day, even though maybe they didn't vote for President Trump in 16 or in 20 or in 24, but they get it. They get the fight that they're in. They're a victim. Look, I'm a Marylander. I want to be able to go to Baltimore. I want to be able to go to a Ravens game or to an Orioles game. Guess what? You know where I take my kids? Not there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Exactly. Okay, because parents, and I don't care who you are, where you are, parents make decisions based on when they wake up in the morning, hey, let's go down to the Inner Harbor, or maybe we don't. Okay, let's go to the neighborhood park instead. And that's because crime is rampant. And it's, by the way, it's not like you got to sell anybody on it. It's on the news every day.
Right.
There's people in Maryland wake up and they watch the news and they get it. They get it with both hands because they are tired of it. And that's what President Trump's saying. That's what makes him a different politician. And by the way, he's not doing this because Baltimore voted for him. He's not doing this because Washington, D.C. voted for him. He's doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, David, we got to leave it there. Thank you so very much for joining us today.